Good evening, friends. In the earlier classes, we had learnt we have learnt about subject, object, and transitive and intransitive verbs. How to identify subjects, how to identify objects, how to identify verbs, and what are direct objects, what are indirect objects. All these things we have learnt. In this class, we will learn another important thing, another important concept, which is called active voice and passive voice. Right. Let us just revise what is a subject. A subject is a thing or person that is the main discussion in the sentence. What we are discussing about. The main discussion is about the subject. About the subject, we tell some other things in a sentence. Right. Every sentence must have a subject. It need not have an object. In some cases, there will be objects. In some cases, there will not be objects. But subject is mandatory. Right. There are two ways of writing sentences. Let us look at these two ways and try to understand what exactly is the difference. Sita loves Savitri. Here, the sentence, what is the subject? The sentence is about Sita. Right. The sentence is about Sita. Sita loves Savitri. Sita loves ice creams. Sita loves football, whatever. Here, the subject is Sita because we are talking about Sita and what she loves. Right. What is the main discussion about in this sentence? The discussion is about Sita. That's why Sita is the subject. Now look at this sentence. The same sentence written in another form. Savitri is loved by Sita. Right. Here the discussion is about Savitri. It is not about Sita. Here the discussion is about Savitri. Savitri is loved by Sita. Savitri is loved by Geeta. Or Savitri is loved by everyone. Whatever. Here the subject is Savitri. The main point or the statement or the sentence is about Savitri. That's why Savitri is the subject in this statement, in this sentence. In the second sentence, Savitri is the subject. In the first sentence, Sita is the subject. Savitri is the object. In the second statement, in the second sentence, Savitri is the subject and Sita is the object. Let us look at one more sentence. The mason is building the wall. Here the statement is about the sentence is about the mason. The mason is building the wall. The mason is is a very good worker, or the mason is very skillful. Whatever. The sentence is about the mason. Right? It is about the mason. The subject is mason. Look at the other statement. The wall is being built by the mason. Here, this statement is about the wall. It is not about mason. It is about the wall. The wall is more important for us. Wall is being built by someone. Right? Because the wall acts as protection or the wall is acting as a boundary or whatever. The wall is important for us. Here, here the discussion is about mason. In the second sentence, the discussion is about the wall. Right. So the wall is the subject and mason is the object in this statement. The peon opened the gate. In this statement, the discussion is about peon. That's why peon is the subject. He opened the gate. Right. Gate is the object. We are talking about the peon. The peon opened the gate. There are a lot of people, but probably the peon only opened. So the discussion is about peon. The gate was opened by the peon. Here the discussion is about gate. Who opened it is not of that much importance. Here we are concerned about the gate. Probably because that is the only gate, or that gate was closed, or that gate is very heavy, or whatever. The gate is important for us because it's the main gate, or whatever. So here the discussion is about the gate. It is not about the peon. The subject is the gate and the object is peon. Some boys were helping the wounded man. Here the discussion is about some boys. Right. Some boys of particular village or some particular school, we are discussing about them. They helped the wounded man, they helped someone else, or they did something else, etc. Right. The discussion is about some boys. That's why the some boys is the subject and helping is the verb, and wounded man is the object. In this statement, which is the passive form of the same statement, it is the wounded man was being helped by some people. In this statement, we are giving importance to the wounded man. For whatever reason, the wounded man is really wound, or is head of some family, or etc. Here, the discussion or the subject is the wounded man, right? And some boys, this is object. He will finish the work in a fortnight. Here, he is the subject, right? We are giving importance to he. He will finish the work, right? Not someone else, he will finish. Here, the importance we are giving to he, and he is the subject. Whereas, in the second statement, the work will be finished by him in a fortnight. Here, we are more concerned about the work. The work will be finished. Whether he will do it or someone will do it, here we are giving more importance to the work. Here, he is the subject. Here, the work is the subject. Here, work is the object. Here, him is the object. Why did your brother write such a story? Your brother is the subject and write such a letter. Letter is the object. Whereas, why was such a letter written by your brother? Here, in the first case, why did your brother write? It is about your brother. The question is about your brother. We are giving more importance to your brother. Your brother is the subject. In the second case, it is about the letter. Right. Why was such a letter written by your brother? Brother is your brother is the object. Letter is the subject. Right. If you notice one thing, in active voice, the subject is doing the action. Whereas in passive voice, the subject is receiving the action. For example, Sita loves Savitri. That means Sita is doing the action of loving. Savitri is loved by Sita. Savitri is not doing any action. The action is done by Sita only. Right? Action of loving is done by Sita. Savitri is loved. That means he is receiving the result of this action. Right? In a passive sentence, subject is affected by the action of the verb. She is receiving. The mason is building the wall. In the active form, mason is doing the action. Whereas in the passive form, the wall, which is the subject again, is not doing any action. It is receiving the action. It is being built by the mason. Mason is doing the action. It is receiving the result of this action. The peon opened the gate. The peon did the action of opening the gate. He is actively doing this. The gate was opened by the peon. The gate is not doing anything. The action is actually is done by the peon only. Gate is receiving that action. Some boys were helping the wounded man. The boys are doing the action. Right. The wounded man was being helped by some boys. The wounded man is actually receiving the action. He's not doing the action, right? He will finish the work in a fortnight. That means he will do. He will act. He is doing the action. The work will be finished by him. The work will not do anything. Work is receiving the action of him. Right. Receiving the work, he is doing some action and work will be finished because of that action. Why did your brother write such a letter? Here, the action is done by your brother. Your brother is writing. He is doing the action. Why was such a letter written by your brother? In this case, the letter is not doing anything, though it is the subject. The subject is actually receiving the action. So, what is happening? In active voice, the subject acts. The subject does the action. Whereas in passive voice, subject doesn't act. Subject is passive. Passive means is not bothered or it is not bothered. It receives the action. Right. That is the main difference. Subject. What is the subject? Subject is the main part or the major discussion of the sentence. What is the thing or what is the person about which the sentence is about? That is the subject. Now, whether that subject about whom or about what we are discussing in the sentence, they are doing any action or they are receiving the action. If they are doing action, it is active voice. If they are receiving action, it is passive voice.